Hey everyone, Scott with the Scottman. We're here to do a driving video today. We're heading west on Interstate 90. We're going to be going through the Cleveland metro area today. So we're starting off the video over at I-271, which is to the east of Cleveland, and we're going to be going through downtown Cleveland. And then we'll finish off all the way over where I-90 merges on with I-80 with the Ohio Turnpike. So yeah, this is going to be a long one today. Because yeah, I want to show the entire Cleveland metro area via I-60. Okay, so yeah, I got to be careful with the police officer, make sure I'm not going faster than him, especially with his lights being on. Yeah, it is a nice sunny day today. Like, not too many clouds out, although there were a little bit to the east, but it's hot and humid here today. My car thermometer is reading 83 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, convert that to Celsius, it's around 28 degrees. And it's just a little after lunchtime, so it's not that late in the day. But we're just in air conditioning, so it's not too much of a problem. So yeah, right now we're in the eastern parts of the Metro Cleveland area, and right now I'm on my way back from New England. I just got done with a big road trip over to New England, and I'm on my way home to Michigan right now. So I've been gone for about 10 days, so it's been quite a long trip. Although nothing compared to the big road trip I did last year in October when I drove all the way up to Colorado, Utah, and Arizona. Like, that was a doozy. Like, at least 5,000 miles.
In half a mile, keep left to stay on I-90 West. This was
a little bit shorter. Because New England's not as far from Michigan as Arizona is. And I need to get over. So we got the exit here for Highway 2, which of course...
Keep left to stay on I-90 West.
I know that. Because the Highway 2 East, that pretty much runs along, or runs parallel with the Lake Erie coast.
Continue on I-90 West for 11 miles.
And then, of course, same goes with Highway 2 going west. It just runs concurrently with I-90 pretty much all the way till we get into Cleveland, and then it branches off again. But yeah, just want to, while we're doing this driving, I definitely want to reflect back on the past road trip. So I left Michigan 10 days ago. As I'm recording this, because keep in mind, more than 95% of my YouTube videos are never real time or close to real time. It's pretty funny, I have to say. Where, like, I remember some driving videos I filmed where I think I filmed one like in September or October one year, and then I uploaded like December or January. It's like, you guys don't have snow yet? And I think there was a video too where I filmed it in January or February during the middle of winter, and I uploaded in March or April. It's like, you guys still have snow? But that's pretty much why at the end of all my videos I always show the timestamp for when the video was recorded. So that way people know exactly what day it was filmed. Although, of course, I still get the comments where it says, where people are like thinking that it snowed in June or something. Or that we're seeing summer-like temperatures around Christmas in Michigan, that is. Anyway, so going back to what I was talking about. So yeah, the first day was just of the road trip was just a driving day where I went from Michigan all the way to New York State. Stayed the first night over in a town called Fishkill, which is north of New York City, but not in the New York City metro area. Because yeah, Fishkill is like, it's along I-84. It's like just a little bit to the south of Poughkeepsie. I'm gonna go ahead and get over. People are kind of riding my butt a little bit. But yeah, it's like I don't understand that. It's like there are times where I could even go 10 over the speed limit and I still get tailgaters. Although that person wasn't tailgating, but it was a little too close. Although technically that is tailgating, but not to where it was dangerous or anything. But it's like, yeah, I know you got places to go, but it's like there's other lanes you can get into to just go around. But yeah, I didn't film anything in Fishkill. Just stopped there for the evening, for the night. But yeah, it was a nice little town. I'd love to go back there someday. Then the next day, I went into Hartford, Connecticut, where now I was going to stay there for the next night. But I want to explore Hartford for the day. It's a pretty nice city, I have to say. It like has the state capitol there. It's pretty walkable, I'd say, too. Although if you want to go like to the attractions like the Mark Twain House or the Harry Beecher Stowe Center, you do need to either drive or get an Uber or Lyft over there. Yeah, I would have loved to have checked out the Mark Twain House, but I didn't really have time to check it out, just with all the other things I wanted to do. But it's like I always say, it gives me a reason to go back. After that, that's when I was going from Hartford, Connecticut to Walpole, Massachusetts, which is Walpole is like I don't know if it's a suburb or not, but it's south of Boston. It's not far from Foxborough, which is where the New England Patriots play. But I stopped there mainly because the hotel rates are a lot cheaper than down in Rhode Island, because I was spending the day in Newport, which is right on the Atlantic Ocean. It's a beautiful city. The only problem is hotel rates there, as well as even in Providence, were insanely expensive. I'm talking about $300 minimum for a Fairfield Inn, which is like a 2 or 3 star Marriott branded hotel. So it's like, all right, I'll stay in between Providence and Boston. And not only that too, because I was going through Massachusetts, I got to meet up with my cousin and his wife as well. I didn't do this on camera or anything, but cool just to meet up with them for a little bit. Then the next day, I was going to be heading up to Maine, because Maine was one of my main stops. It's like, that was, yeah, no pun intended there, because I just came out of my mouth there. Anyway, Maine was one of my big stops, but on the way there, I stopped to make a day trip to the cities and towns of Gloucester and Rockport, Massachusetts, which is northeast of Boston, but you go further northeast than Salem. And yeah, those were amazingly beautiful. It's like, love checking out the New England coast. Very colonial, like just absolutely beautiful. Like, I wanted to go there back in around Memorial Day weekend when I flew out to Boston, but because the weather was so terrible that weekend, I ended up canceling that the end, made the right choice because I was able to go there during this road trip and the weather was perfect. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, anyway, so... And then from there, my next big stop was Portland, Maine. But I ended up staying up in Augusta, which is the capital of Maine, which is about an hour north of Portland, because the hotel rates in Portland were also insanely expensive. Probably because it was the weekend. Tourists, like, I could not really find hotel rates, even for a 2-star hotel, lower than $400 a night. And yet the weird thing was, although it was a weekend, but there weren't really any festivals or events going on. But I ended up in Augusta, which is really nice, and I didn't film anything there, but I did get to just walk around Augusta really quick and got to see the state capitol, which is really cool. Well, just from the outside, I didn't go in. Oh, but more about the trip in a little bit, but yeah, you can see Lake Erie off to the right. See some boats out there right now. And then here comes the skyline for Cleveland. Starting to get into the Cleveland area, or the city of Cleveland itself. So this is where I gotta concentrate pretty closely because things go off in different directions. Because yeah, for through traffic for going through Cleveland and going west, yeah, you need to keep following the signs for I-90. Because Highway 2, in about 1.5 miles from now, is going to diverge away from I-90. So Highway 2 is more the direct route for downtown Cleveland. And if you're looking to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or the Science Center, or if you're going to see like a Cleveland Browns game, yeah, you're going to want to take kind of the Highway 2 exit. But yeah, if you've not been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I highly recommend it. I did not film a video there or anything, but it's a really cool museum. I went a few years ago. Yeah, downtown Cleveland's pretty nice, I have to say. I've been in it a couple times. I think I do need to get over to the left lane.
In half a mile, keep left at the fork to stay on I-90 West. Follow signs for I-71.
So yeah, if you want to go more into downtown Cleveland, yeah, again, take Highway 2 in. And then, of course, you stay on I-90, you stay in the left 2 lanes. You go on this really dangerous
Keep
curve.
left at the fork to stay on I-90 West.
Because yeah, they even recommend going 35 miles per hour on this, just because yeah, again, yeah. Just look
Continue for 3 miles.
Yeah, just look how sharp this curve is. It's pretty cool too. You also have a tunnel or a brief tunnel we'll be going underneath as well. Nothing too lengthy or anything. Okay, I think I need to be over to the right. Yeah, this is where you really gotta pay attention to which lane you're driving in, because you might go on the wrong freeway if you're not careful. But As I was saying, yeah, downtown Cleveland is immediately to our right. I do have to get over, though, because a lot of people are coming out of the freeway. And coming up here, and yeah, half a mile, we got the exit for I-77, which take that south to take you down to Akron and Canton, Ohio. And then eventually it takes you down to Charleston, West Virginia, eventually into the state of Virginia.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-90 West exit toward Toledo.
And it takes you all the way down toward, like, Columbia, South Carolina. Oh, and also Charlotte, North Carolina. And yep, you can even see downtown Cleveland on the right, well, barely. And yeah, to our right. Alright, I need to go over the right lane. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and get over now. Yep, and there's Progressive Field, and that is home to currently the Cleveland Indians, but they're getting a nickname change after this year due to the controversy behind the team name, the Cleveland Indians. So starting next year, unless something changes, they're going to be the Cleveland Guardians. And for what I've heard, it's like there's been a lot of talk about that, to where people wanted the name changed for years. But the name they're changing it to, the people, like the people are not liking it at all.
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-90 West exit toward Toledo.
So if you stay in the left 3 lanes over there, that becomes I-71. That'll take you down to Columbus, which is the state capital of Ohio, and also the largest city in terms of population for Ohio. And then it continues down towards Cincinnati.
Use the right 2 lanes to take the I-90 West exit.
And then, of course, I-71 goes all the way down to Louisville, over at I-65 down in Kentucky.
Continue for 8 miles.
Then we have another, maybe not as sharp of a curve, but still another sharp curve. High water. Okay, so now we're back on I-90 again, and we'll continue our way west. I think I do have to get over because this lane's going to end soon for this upcoming exit. So anyway, going back to what I was talking about. It's like, yeah, a lot of the people who were wanting the name change from the Cleveland Indians, a lot of them aren't too happy about with the Cleveland Guardians name. They're like, they could have come with a better name. Oh, it's interesting though. It's like I'm curious what the reasoning behind the name Guardians. Unless it's just because trying to think of a name that's close to Indians, but that's not offensive. I think they probably just wanted the Ians at the very end. Okay, so we're continuing our way on I-90 West. We're going to be starting to get out of the city of Cleveland itself. We're going to be starting to head out to like the western suburbs of Cleveland, such as like Lakewood, for example. So yeah, we'll be taking this all the way until we get to the Ohio Turnpike. I said that at the beginning of the video, but I figure just a quick reminder. the more direct freeway going west out of Cleveland itself. Further to the south, they also have I-480, which, like I-90 here, it's also all freeway. And then further south, they got I-80, which is the Ohio Turnpike, which is tolled. Okay, so I'll go and I'll resume my chat about the road trip. So then I stayed 2 nights up in Augusta, Maine, and then between the first night and the second night, I did a day trip down into Portland for the entire day, which, yeah, Portland's a really beautiful city. It's right on the Casco Bay, which is, of course, the Atlantic Ocean. And just outside of Portland, there's the Portland Head Lighthouse, which is one of the most iconic lighthouses in the United States. And that's coming from a guy who's from the state of Michigan, which is home to the most lighthouses or the state with the most lighthouses in the country. Yeah, Portland's really cool. And of course, while I was in Maine, I had a lot of lobster rolls. And then from there, I went from Augusta to Bangor, but on my way there, because the two cities are only like an hour apart, but I wanted to do like a little day trip to some of the coastal towns of Maine. So I went to Rockland, Rockport, and Camden, Maine, which, yeah, those are really beautiful. Although there was a lot of very heavy traffic, even for a Monday. But then again, the nickname for Maine is Vacation Land. Because I saw pretty much license plates from every New England state in the state of Maine, as well as New York and New Jersey. And then I got a hotel for 2 nights in Bangor. I didn't really get to explore Bangor or anything, just because I didn't really have a lot of time. But the reason why I stayed in Bangor is because I was going to be spending a full day at Acadia National Park, and that is, yeah, one of the, I think it's like in the top 10 most visited national parks in the United States. It's up there with Yosemite, Grand Canyon, Zion, Glacier National Park. It's up there with those parks. And I can understand why, because it is absolutely beautiful, like with the rugged coastline along the Atlantic Ocean. And of course, don't forget the mountains throughout the coast too, like especially Cadillac Mountain, which is the largest mountain not only in the national park, but also the entire eastern seaboard. Where from the top you get some amazing views of not only the town of Bar Harbor, which is the closest town to Acadia National Park, but also the Atlantic coastline and and on a clear day, even some of the mountains way out to the west toward New Hampshire. And then speaking of New Hampshire, the next day I then spent 2 days in New Hampshire. I stayed down in Plymouth, New Hampshire, which is just to the south of Franconia Notch State Park, which, yeah, I got to check out that park. It was my second time there, but I spent a lot more time there. And that is such a beautiful park, because you got these really tall mountains that practically encompass the area. It's just absolutely breathtaking. Got to go with some beautiful hikes, including the Flume Gorge, and that was something out of this world.
In half a mile, keep left to stay on I-90 West.
The scenery in there, it almost looks like something you'd see in the Pacific Northwest, like either in the Olympic Peninsula or the Columbia River Gorge or something. That was like amazingly beautiful. Oh, and the day before that, on my way into New Hampshire, I got to, in this car,
keep left to stay on I-90 West.
I have no idea why it's telling me direction changes when it's like I'm not going to get out
on
of this
I-90
exit.
West for 18 miles.
rudely interrupted. So yeah, with this car, I drove all the way up to the top of Mount Washington, which is the tallest mountain east of the Mississippi River in the United States. That was really cool, but it is not for the faint of heart though, because there are parts in the road where there are no guardrails. And the road is kind of narrow. If you don't believe me, watch my drive video on Mount Washington. But once you get to the top, it is really cool. Got a really cool like observation deck up there. And on a clear day, it's said that you can see all the surrounding states of Massachusetts, Maine, Vermont, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island. I think I may have said Rhode Island already. And I think on a clear day too, you can even see Quebec as well, up to the north. So I think they even said that at night, if it's clear enough, you can see Boston and also Montreal. I don't know about New York City though. Maybe with a telescope, perhaps, I don't know. But yeah, going up is not a problem. Coming back down can be a little, I wouldn't say challenging, but you gotta be really careful because it's a very steep grade and you're riding the brakes a lot on the downhill climb, which is pretty much the entire road. And you can wear out your brakes or burn out your brakes. So it's like they tell you to have your car in the lowest gear as you go down. And that's including passenger cars like this one, not just trucks or anything. Although the road's kind of narrow, so you're not going to see like big semi-trucks on it or anything. But there are a lot of stops on the way down to where you can pull off and just cool your brakes a little bit and just take a break. Which I did that a few times just to be safe. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, further back, toward the direction toward Lakewood, Highway 2 comes back on with I-90 for a little while, which Highway 2 runs concurrently with I-90 pretty much till about a mile or two before I-90 merges in with the Turnpike. And then yesterday, I left New Hampshire and I stopped for the night in Syracuse, New York, and while I was there, because that's where my late grandfather, my mom's side of my family, was born. And although he's not buried in that area, because he's buried in Michigan, but his parents, and then on his father's side of the family, like going up to his great-grandfather, are all buried there, which is really cool. It's like, well, in Auburn, New York, which is about a half hour or so west of Syracuse. So it was really, really neat to see that. And also in the same cemetery that they're buried in is where Harriet Tubman's buried as well, which is really cool. And then from there I went to Syracuse, New York, which, as a matter of fact, is where his maternal side of the family, or his mother's side of the family, is buried. Like his maternal grandparents and great-grandparents were buried there, and also his sister as well, and her husband, they're buried there as well. So it's cool to see that, and also drive by a few of the homes that either my grandfather lived in, or like his sister, or like a lot of the family lived in before my grandpa, and then eventually my grandma, when they both got married, moved from Syracuse to Detroit. And then here we are today, driving through the Cleveland metro area. So yeah, I got about another 13 miles to go approximately. Yeah, the traffic hasn't been too bad. yeah, going through Cleveland, which is pretty nice. Yeah, overall, I've had really good weather. The only time, I think it only rained a couple times during this entire road trip. Once in Hartford, Connecticut, like when I was walking around where I had to take shelter for a half hour, but it was just a passing shower. And then the other time was just like a 10-minute light rain shower when I was checking out the coastal towns in Maine. Other than that, it was nice and dry and sunny the rest of the trip. There might have been a couple nights where it rained overnight, but that was it. So I got very lucky with the weather. And I just realized I haven't had any water since I started this video. It's been a lot to talk about. Whew, that's better. Because after talking for a long period of time, your throat dries out. Hey, gotta keep it moist after all. But yeah, the next trip I'm about to be doing is going to be to New York City, and I'm not driving to New York City. I'll be flying there this time. That'll be for Labor Day weekend. And then we're just entering Lorain County and also the city of Avon, which is one of the western suburbs of Cleveland. Because, yeah, Cleveland itself is in Cuyahoga County. But yeah, it's like one cool thing is that anytime I'm either driving through Cleveland or coming into Cleveland, I always think of the song "Cleveland Rocks" by the Presidents of the United States of America. They're a 90s alternative rock band. They were more known for their big songs "Peaches" and "Lump," which, yeah, great songs, by the way. But yeah, like they wrote. I think they recorded the song "Cleveland Rocks" for the Drew Carey show, which of course is set in Ohio, because Drew Carey, this actor and comedian Drew Carey, is from Cleveland. If not from Cleveland, at least the Cleveland area. Because yeah, it's like if you listen to the full song, like at the very end, you can hear Drew Carey say, "Ohio, Ohio, Ohio." And not only that too, but it's also the theme song for the Drew Carey show. Except for, I think, the first season or two of the Drew Carey show, where I think the first season he had a cover of "Moon Over Parma," and then I think the next season they played 5 O'Clock World by the Vogues, and then that's when, after that, they officially got the main theme song, "Cleveland Rocks," for the Presidents of the USA. So anyway, I got the trip to New York City planned. Which, yeah, the same cousin I was talking about who I met up with in like outside of Boston, he actually lived in New York City for a few years. So yeah, he was already giving me some tips on different things to do in New York City. Although I didn't have a chance to write anything down, so I'll probably have to text him again in the coming weeks or something, just so I can start planning things. And then not only that too, but I also planning a big trip in early October. Unless something dramatically changes, I'm planning to go to Europe for the first time in like 3 years. Because because of the pandemic, I never left the United States last year. And then in 2019, I went to Bali, Indonesia. But yeah, I haven't booked anything yet. I might do that in the next week or two. But I'm currently thinking of maybe Serbia. or at least it's one of the destinations, just because when I 4 years ago when I went to Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, and Slovenia, but I haven't got a chance to see a lot of the rest of the Balkans yet, which is like Southeast Europe. So I was like, it'd be cool to check out Serbia. Not sure if I will or not. I'll also check out North Macedonia, which used to be just called used to just be called Macedonia. I'll also even check out maybe Albania as well. Which, yeah, out of all the countries I listed there, Albania is the only one which is not, or was not part of the former Yugoslavia. Better have been a cop that was in the median there, because yeah, that's not a legal turnaround for passenger cars or anything. Well, thankfully that this work zone was not all that long. Starting to wrap up here. Yep, so we have another 5 miles to go, and then we'll be merging in with the Ohio Turnpike. But yeah, lots of different things to think about. It's like I gotta act fast because, yeah, because I already blocked the 2 weeks off from work already, and I need to start planning things before our hotel rates or even airfare starts to skyrocket or something. Although, it's like, the majority of people, when they're planning trips to Europe, they usually don't go to, like, with the exception of maybe Croatia, it's like a lot of people don't plan trips over to, like, Serbia or North Macedonia or that area. They tend to go more toward, like, to the west, toward like Italy, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, etc. To think about. And then I also want to do like a weekend trip to Chicago as well, maybe in September. Although by the time this video goes up, it'll probably be past that. So I haven't been to Chicago in like 10 years. Well, excluding driving through it via I-80 when I've gone out west. Love to do like a restaurant tour over in Chicago. Have some Chicago deep dish pizza, of course a Chicago hot dog. I'm getting hungry just talking about it, and I just had lunch like an hour and a half ago. So yeah, we're now in the city of Elyria, which is pretty much where I-90 merges on with the Ohio Turnpike. It's like, yeah, just think, yeah, this is the last video I'm recording for this whole road trip. I filmed a lot of videos too, like not only vlogs but also drive videos too. Although I feel like with the exception of Mount Washington and one of the highways I did in Vermont, I feel like it was mostly freeway this time for driving videos. But I can't complain though. It's always nice to drive on the freeway too. So coming up in another mile and a half, we have the last free exit for I-90. Which I need to be over in the left lane because I'm getting on the Ohio Turnpike. Because in another mile we got the exit for Highway 2. Which Highway 2 continues its way west as well, and it also goes to Toledo, but it's not entirely freeway. It is a freeway all the way to the Port Clinton, Ohio area, which is west of Sandusky, which is where the Kalahari Water Resort is, as well as Cedar Point, which is a very huge amusement park.
In half a mile, keep left at the fork to stay on I-90 West. Follow signs for I-80 West, Toledo.
So if you're going to Sandusky, Ohio, or to Port Clinton, yeah, definitely take Highway 2 because that'd be not only faster but also free. And you can also go to Toledo as well too via Highway 2. But again,
keep left at the fork to stay on I-90 West.
But again, after Port Clinton, it is not a freeway.
Continue on I-80 West for 72 miles.
But it is an alternative if you do not want to pay the toll. So otherwise, yeah, if you want to, the fastest way to Toledo is, yeah, getting on the Ohio Turnpike, which is what we're doing. And I'm going to be wrapping up the video shortly after I go through the toll booth. Which for the Ohio Turnpike, as of 2021, you either need the Easy Pass if you want to do the electronic tolling, or if you don't have one, you have to take a ticket and then you pay with cash or a credit card whenever you get off, or at the last toll gantry if let's say you're going west all the way to Indiana or east all the way to Pennsylvania. I'll be curious if they'll ever make the Ohio Turnpike 100% cashless or all electronic, kind of like what they did with the New York State Thruway. Because for that, you have to have an Easy Pass, or you pay online, or they just bill you and send you a bill in the mail. So I'm going to grab a ticket, and then once I grab the ticket for the Turnpike, I'll start to conclude this video. Okay, that person must have the Easy Pass. Alright, cool. Alright, so that is the end of this video. We have gone from I-90 from I-271 east of Cleveland all the way to where it merges on with the Ohio Turnpike, or I-80. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that subscribe button to come along and join me for the adventure, and don't forget to click that notification bell so that way you know when a new video goes live. Well, thanks for watching, and this is Scott, the Scottman, signing out here from Elyria, Ohio.